This is the Bestway Steel Pro Max above-ground swimming pool, the round version, the one that's 15 feet across and 42 inches high. I've actually had this pool for about 3 years now and wanted to give you a quick review based on what it's like to really own and maintain it for several full summers. I'm going to walk you through what I've learned, what you might want to watch out for, and who I'd recommend this for, especially if you're just thinking about getting started with your first above-ground pool. So, obviously, the size is what jumps out right away. At 15 feet in diameter, the shape is classic and round, which I love because it just looks good in the backyard. It's big enough for several adults or a family with kids to splash around and actually enjoy it, but not so massive that it eats up the whole yard or intimidates you when it comes to cleaning or covering. I looked at lots of pool options, but this size honestly feels like a sweet spot for someone who wants real swimming room but still needs to be practical about space and price. The main thing to talk about is the material and build. The pool frame is made from rust-resistant steel, which is a solid touch and helps explain why, after 3 years, my pool frame still feels sturdy and hasn't wobbled or bent out of shape. The liner, the part you actually see and touch, is this thing called DuraPlus. Basically a 3-layer material that has a mesh core sandwiched between 2 layers of heavy-duty PVC plastic. When I first read about it, I wasn't sure how different it would really be compared to a basic vinyl liner, but after using it for a while, I have to admit it actually resists tears much better, and so far, no punctures from kids' toys, pool shoes, or even the dog when he jumped up on the side once or twice. That's a pretty big win. Now, when I set this pool up for the first time, I won't say it's something you can do by yourself if you're on the shorter side or not super strong. I grabbed a friend, and it went up pretty fast, like less than an afternoon. But I'd recommend having at least one helper. The really nice thing is you don't need power tools or any specialized stuff, just patience to snap the frame sections into place. I know some people get nervous about home assembly, but if you've ever put together basic furniture, you'll be totally fine. Let me mention one of my favorite features right now, and that's the LED color changing light and the see-through liner panel. This is actually really fun at night, especially on weekends. The pool comes with a remote that lets you switch between all these different colors and patterns. 7 colors, a bunch of modes, different speeds, and even brightness control. The transparent window section in the liner means the lights actually give a glow you can see from outside, so the pool just looks amazing at dusk or after dark. Kids totally lose their minds over it, and honestly, I end up using the colors just as much as they do. I didn't think this would be a big deal when I bought it, but now I can't imagine owning a pool without this feature. Let's talk maintenance, because that's where a lot of people have questions and concerns, and honestly, this was the part I was most nervous about at first. The pool comes with a filter pump system and a cartridge filter, which is supposed to keep the water circulating and clean. To be upfront, if you use the pool constantly or you have several people in it every day, I found the included pump is okay, but not super powerful. For my first year or so, it worked fine, but as time went by and I wanted less hassle, I upgraded to an Intex sand filter pump. I'm glad I did. It just keeps the water much more clear, especially when you get a lot of leaves or fine dirt from the wind. Still, the included pump is a good beginner option and definitely helps you get started without a huge extra spend. One thing I found super helpful was the cover that comes with the pool. Whenever I'm not using the pool for a couple of days, I'll throw the cover on, and it makes a huge difference keeping leaves and stuff out. It also slows down evaporation on hot days. The latter is sturdy enough for both kids and adults, and the ground cloth helps protect the bottom liner from rocks or anything sharp underneath. Now, in my experience, the hardest part of pool upkeep is getting the dirt and sand out of the bottom, especially if your yard is dusty or there's a lot of foot traffic in and out. At first, I tried to just use a manual pool vacuum, but honestly, I ended up spending more time cleaning than swimming. That's when I grabbed a little pool robot cleaner. It's like a battery-powered vacuum that you charge separately, drop in the pool, and it rolls around picking up debris from the bottom. If you're on the fence about getting something like that, I totally recommend it. It saves time and does a better job than I could do by hand. I use mine almost every day. For anyone brand new to pools, I want to mention a few terms in case you're not sure. DuraPlus, the tough liner material, means the pool is less likely to be damaged by sharp things or a little rough play. The filter pump is what pulls water through the filter to remove dirt and keep the pool water clean. The cartridge filter is a replaceable filter that captures particles from the water. And when people talk about shocking the pool, that just means using a special dose of chlorine or other cleaning chemical to kill off algae and bacteria that might build up after heavy use or a rainstorm. None of these things are especially hard to do, but they're good to understand before you get started. When it comes to how it feels to actually use the pool, it's the best. The depth is great for kids to play in safely, and if you're an adult, you can crouch or float comfortably. I've had parties with 4 to 6 adults lounging, plus half a dozen kids jumping in and out, and it never felt too cramped. My family jokes that we basically live in the pool from May to September, and that's not far from the truth. Now, it's not all perfect. Like I said before, if you're looking for a pool you never have to maintain, this isn't it. There's still work involved. Cleaning out the filter, keeping track of the chemical balance, skimming out any big leaves or bugs, and covering it when you're not using it. Assembly takes some teamwork, and the initial setup can be a bit sweaty if you pick the hottest day of the summer like I did. Upgrading the pump makes maintenance easier down the line, but it's an extra investment. But, in my opinion, for the price and the convenience of having a real pool right in your backyard, it's totally worth it. I'd recommend this for families, couples, or really anyone who wants a private spot to swim and hang out without dealing with public pools. It transforms the way you use your yard in the summer, makes it the place where everyone wants to gather and relax, and with a little bit of effort up front, the rewards totally outweigh any of the chores. In conclusion, the Bestway Steel Pro Max is a pool I'm genuinely happy with after several seasons. It's tough, looks great, fits a crowd, and the setup process didn't give me any major headaches. Maintenance can be a bit of work, but with a few smart upgrades and simple tricks, it's manageable even if you're a first-time pool owner. From my experience, you will not regret having those LED lights on summer nights or jumping in to cool off after a long day. If you're still on the fence, just know that the fun and relaxation this pool brings is absolutely real. If you found this quick review helpful, or you have questions about pool care or setup, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and drop a comment below. Happy to help answer anything. Thank you for watching.